Alright, we're going to be looking at the Momir event for Friday Night Magic. This is an event where your deck has all lands, 6 of each type. There are 2 types of each snow-covered land, adding up to 60 lands here. 12 of each type total. Okay, now how that works is we have this emblem on the side, discard a card, create a token that's a copy of a random creature card with converted mana cost X. Activate this only at any time you could cast a sorcery, and only once each turn. So you can make a creature once every turn by spending mana. You have to play your lands and also use those lands to, and then discard those lands. And that's all you're going to do. If you're having a hard time with this event, it may be because it's pretty random. So it may just be random, but it may also be that you're not patiently blocking. I see a lot of people attacking in with a 3/3 because I've only got two 2/2s. But if I block with both of those 2/2s, that's only 3 damage. So I'm going to kill your 3/3 with a 2/2 and not lose anything. Right? Now see how they only put one snow-covered forest down and they didn't do anything. This is what I've been doing too. I noticed that other people started doing it. If you play your first one as a 1/1, that's fine. Some people, oh, he's not even going to play as a 2/2. I'm definitely playing as a 2/2. So you just click the emblem, you have your 2 lands out, click pay, and then it'll auto pay, and then you have to choose what to discard. Since I already have a swamp out, I'm going to discard a swamp. There are some creatures who have mana cost associated with a certain type of land. So if you have at least one of each of those out, you're much more likely to be able to pay a mana cost, especially with red. You definitely want red out. That's the most likely. Okay, so I've got a Vigilance 1/4. That's not going to do much damage. Pretty good blocker, though. He's really waiting. I don't usually see people wait quite this long. I already have a swamp out, so we'll just do that. We probably should have done a forest. Okay. Can't block unless you control another zombie. Well, he's not planning on blocking. But pretty soon they're going to have creatures. So this is 4th turn. He's almost definitely going to do a creature on the 4th turn. Now, the problem here is he will overpower me in the long term. You get 1 card a turn, and you're going to be playing a land every turn. Okay. So let's put out... I'll finish that sentence in just a second. So you're going to be playing a land every turn and discarding a land every turn. So whenever you start casting creatures, the later you feel like you can hold off, the longer it is gonna the longer you're going to be able to play a land and cast a creature. So it might be better to get ahead of the opponent. But in general, what he's doing is probably going to give him a long-term advantage. I was actually hoping I'd play against someone doing this so we could see the difference. So there is some strategy to it beyond just what blockers you have. I say let's get our creature and see what we have before we attack. Got 5. Submit a forest. Still don't have blue. See, 5. This could matter in the long term, though. You never know. So let's see if he wants to make this trade. Double strike means it'll hit and then hit again. So right now we're still trading. This is really good for us because we're still trading for. Oh wow. Okay. And I could theoretically start blocking if he attacks in with the 7/3. But probably want to wait because getting City's Blessing and having all of the saprolings that they make get as 3/3s will be much better. I'm only one away from City's Blessing, which is just ascend. If you control 10 or more permanents, you get City's Blessing for the rest of the game. We have 5 lands out and 4 creatures, so that's only one away. 3/3 flyer. Yeah. And you'd expect to get a bigger creature for 6. This is why I start on 2. I'm not sure that it's better necessarily, but you know, it seems to work out pretty well. I'm going to put down the mountain. That's one of the more likely ones to turn into. So, okay. Okay, that Dryad was a really good pick. They felt like they were too far behind, and I was going to be able to attack in with everything except for the Dryad that turn and do quite a bit of damage. So it didn't put me that far ahead to start on 2, maybe starting on 3. Let's try that this next time. If nothing else, you can get some pretty quick wins doing these. You hit a bad luck streak in any form of the game, and of course that's going to be frustrating, but this is a pretty soft field, which means it's not that hard to get wins. I haven't lost one yet, unfortunately. It's I've only been playing a few here and there, but all right. Unless they get something out quick, we'll wait until 3rd turn and see how that goes. Glorious Dave, what do you do? All right, quick. Let's see, a 1/1 is fairly worthless, right? Okay, let's stick with the plan. Generally, when you see your opponent starting out like this, you know that they're going to keep going, and you don't want to wait too long to respond. That's pretty good. Target creature can't be blocked. So that's why I like to have one of each type of mana when I can. You never know when you're going to come up with a good ability. So, yes. Here you go. And I haven't noticed that the type of mana that you put out matters in any way. It doesn't say that it does. So. 2, 3. Tap target creature. Is he searching his library? You only have lands in your library. No reason to search, Mr. Glorious Dave. And it's really hard to use, especially with 3, because you're going to want to be casting a creature every turn, and you probably want it to be as big as possible. Okay, no swamps down. Let's put down a swamp, cast for 4. Being the first one to play is a huge advantage in any game, but especially these. Alright. Mass 2. No real good reason to attack. I could theoretically be using this, but it's more of an endgame thing when they have something big. And of course I have to have a flyer out. I mean, if he tries to go in for 2 here, that's going to be a problem. You notice how this 1/1 hit for 2 damage, but after that, it just nothing. Nothing at all. All right. So, if I do attack here, he makes a free block with that to one of the 2/2s. He gets to block 2/3 with the 1/3. Maybe a trade there. Feel like I'm behind just a little bit doing this. He could also just kill the 2/3 and he'll only take 2 damage, and I'll lose maybe 2 creatures. He'll lose at least 1, maybe 2 creatures. The only reason I'm even considering it is because next turn, the 5/5 coming in, I want to be able to clear the board just a little bit, and then it leaves behind a big blocker. So if I were him, I would do the 2/2 and the 1/3 on the 2/3. Oh. Okay, so he just gives up the... So there's no reason to give up that 1/1 like that. It could be valuable later. He just sacrificed it. And I don't have any combat tricks. There's nothing that I could have... that just doesn't benefit in any way. So he can't attack in with the menace. Good. It probably would have been better to cast before combat. Certain creatures will come in and give a +2 or, you know, something like that. Since there's no interactivity, like no counter spells, no removal or anything like that, there's really no good reason to wait until after the effect, after the battle. He might have been able to tap my creature. New cards. Okay, I'm going to put another mountain down and cast for 6. He has nothing on board that can kill my 5/5, so I'm definitely going to be attacking him with that. Submit. Forest, sure. Oh, wow. Flying haste. So probably the best play you could make would be to not attack in next turn and be able to block with all 3 of these to the 5/5 and just take the 5 this turn. But see, if we would have kept that 1/3, that 1/1, it would have been a lot better, because then he could sacrifice just the 1/1 and get away with, or sacrifice the 1/1 and I could only kill the 1/1 and the 2/3. Or something like that. Wow. That's amazing. Wow. I think he might win now. So what does that look like? You may play a land and cast a permanent of each type from your graveyard. So he can get a land back from his graveyard every turn, but there will be no other types of permanents. Looks pretty amazing to me. I'm just going to bias toward red. That seems like the most likely thing. Let's see, I could tap him down. That would be 5, 9, 10, 11 damage. Take him down to... see, if he was down to 4, then that would be an easy play here. Oh, it takes him 9, so it takes him down to 7. Still a 2-turn clock. Maybe that's worthwhile. So I'm going to keep 2 mana open, spending just 5, so that I can tap this down. So that's a 2-turn clock, which means that I'm going to have to block the 6/6, not this turn, but next turn, I think. And then I'll have 1 turn to hit him, and then 1 turn to just leave everything open and block everything he has. So as long as he doesn't get something that can block flyers, reach, or another flyer, then that'll be a win. You are correct. Okay, take the 6 this turn. If you're not right about to die, it's usually best to use your life total to its max. If you think that they're going to have some sort of trick that can kill you, that's not a good idea. But in general, it's a much better idea to keep a creature around. And so if I would have blocked the 6/6 there, no, he got a flyer. Okay. That does ruin the plan. Hexproof from monocolored. So, can I really kill him this turn? Oh, yes, all attacking does kill him. And he can only block the 5/5, and I've got a 7, 8, 9 damage. Okay, he saw it before I did. Okay. And the other thing is, attacking before you cast your creature, then you don't know what you have on the board. If you put your creature down, then you can much more easily calculate, okay, I need to keep this and this up. And if you don't know what you have, then you're not going to be able to make that calculation quite as well. Let's go for this as a 1. 2 swamps, so we'll drop one of those. Ruin crab. Okay. So we'll never be missing a land drop. I wonder if milling is even a possibility here. How many turns would that take you? So that's milling 3 a turn, plus he draws 1 a turn. At 52 cards, so that's 4 into 52, 14 turns. Usually these games don't last 14 turns. Not too bad. Of any color. That's not bad, actually. That's pretty useful. Be nice if I could just use it infinitely, though, of course. So depending on what he gets, we could attack him with this if he's only got a 1 power, but probably get something that's 2 power this turn. A lot of creature effects are just worthless in this, aren't they? The one benefit of the Ruin Crab is it feels like, I'm sure that it feels like pressure to them. Okay, that's a free, I mean, it only kills the 2/2. So at this point, maybe it would have been better just to start in. I'm going to wait maybe even 1 more turn before I start using it. I only have 2 power, what are they called? Oh. +3/+3 in Death Touch. Huh. Okay, not bad. We'll let that through, and then if he decides to power it up, I mean, he loses a creature drop. Doesn't seem good to me, but maybe that's a good calculation on his part. I'm not sure. Gets the +1/+1. Okay. Since he's got that out, let's just make sure we get a good drop. 5s are usually pretty good. We'll pay for a green. Since we don't have any green, I should have dropped my forest. So that's 5. Three, 5. So this is a 4/5. So yeah, not gonna attack him with the 2/3. Okay. Oh, it turns into a 5/6. Of course, I should have blocked with both if I was going to block. That's a free kill. Not bad. Okay. Getting pwned here. Okay, I think I'm going to use my last power. 4/6. Does this even work? If it does, that's pretty cool. No, oh, because it's a token. Oh, how awful. Well, he hasn't casted anything for a few turns. We have a flyer. Interesting. I think this 2/3 does us no good at all, so let's just block so he doesn't get another token on it. Not sure about this strategy. I suppose I could have blocked with 2 creatures. Forced him to use the mana. Down to 32. Yeah, I didn't get my card. Luckily, we'd already used it up, so it's not that much of a loss, but every little creature helps, and we're already pretty far behind here. Okay, that at least nullifies the 2/3, but this turns into a 6/4, and he might keep it at a 6/4 by not. Yeah. So this goes up to a 5/6. It doesn't get its +1/+1 until the end of turn. He can't boost it twice. But he can kill my creature. The only way that makes sense is just to get just to make him spend the mana. So now if he does want to drop something, it's going to be for 3 mana instead of 6. And he's going to put this down to a 5/4 instead of a 6/4 next turn after he spends a card and draws a card. He probably won't. Oh, he did. Okay. Does not fit your normal pattern. Alright, so when the thing about holding off on casting early, so now since we casted first turn, this is the hardest game so far. Holding off till third turn gave us a lot more power. You put 1 more land down until you run out for every turn that you hold off, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So we're casting creatures for 6. We can cast 1 creature for 6 every turn. Okay, it's got a 5/4. We've got 9 damage, so that's a 2-turn clock. we have to do is chump a little this turn, and then, you know, still got the Ruined Crab to block with. Gonna keep it right now. I'll keep it. Again, no real point to not casting before you attack in this. Usually that's a good strategy, especially because you have the creature in your hand, you know what you're casting, you know what your board's going to look like on their turn. What are you considering here? 4/5. Okay. So lots of good 6 mana creatures, so I'm not complaining about being stuck on 6, but yeah, and that's got to be game. I can block his 2 biggest creatures and gain 4 life next turn and kill his knight. I don't see any way. Like, even if he does cast a creature with reach or flying, it still doesn't get him out. Lifelink could possibly... What's a flying lifelink? He could get one of those big angels out. See, just using that mana like that, it just really cut him off from, like, he's got 4 cards in his hand now. So I'm just gonna block the 4/4. What was that? Oh, flying. Okay. And that's not even necessary, but... So he dropped a land yet this turn. Maybe you could drop a land and cast another servo. Yeah. Yeah, 4/3, not bad. Siobhan Dragon. See, there's our +1 with the red mana. Gotta love that. Let's see what we get for our last creature. So that would be the one exception to wanting to cast after battle. So it's possible, say he had 6 life left, and there's a chance he might not block the Siobhan because he wanted to make the trade there, and then we could have boosted it up 1 with the red. But since he only had 3, there was no point. Okay, that's Momir. Not too hard to get your 2 wins this week, I would say. Just really try to understand the blocks. If you want a little bit of advantage, hold off on your first couple turns. I've seen people go all the way to the 4th turn. It gets a little sketchy because, you know, it just depends on what they drop. What you can do is watch what their creatures are that come onto the board, and once they start building up enough pressure that you just can't ignore it anymore, then start casting. You can get a little bit behind that way, but then in the long term, you basically go up to see how far you can last, and then once you hit that, you have to judge it just right, and then you'll be casting bigger creatures than them for the rest of the game, getting supposedly more value. So lots of luck involved in it, but we've got good luck here. Have fun. Enjoy the Momir.